Hello again and welcome to another episode of Primetime Muscle. Tim Wilkins, as always, joined by these two amazing guys.
Chris Cormier.
Tarek Gindi.
That worked well. We didn't even rehearse that. Okay. I don't know how many episodes we're going to have to start out with the fashionista that is Chris Cormier. What, you're supposed to say Las Vegas? What is that?
That's Louis Vuitton.
Louis Vuitton.
Vuitton.
So you got
that? You know
that?
the Louis Vuitton?
No, I do not.
Don't make me do it, but I will. Don't make me do it.
The DJ Khaled
But I will. We the best on Muscle. Primetime Muscle. We the best.
That is.
You feel me? You feel me?
There's something about the way he carries himself for those outfits that makes me wonder if he actually feels the outfit. You know what I mean?
Like a skin.
He dresses, he puts on the outfit, and the personality comes out of him. You know?
Yeah,
it's more of a wardrobe.
I can see why people invest so much money on outfits, because when Chris doesn't have those kind of clothes, his energy goes down, and we're looking for a replacement on the show. Chris, when he puts on, then there's energy, there's passion, so it's kind of nice.
That's right.
It's Elvis's jumpsuit. That's what
Elvis ain't Elvis without
Chris, when you wear this stuff, does it change your mood?
Oh, definitely.
You feel more glamorous?
You feel like $1 million.
You feel like a girl with a red dress and high heels.
And lipstick. Yeah.
Somebody's ready for the ball.
Do you get more attention? Like people start asking you more questions?
I don't know, because I can't see nobody.
Mm-hmm. So let's move on to today's first topic. And speaking of red, only you would know this. He was wearing red trunks at the Olympia.
The unstoppable force, Walker. I'm sick and tired of people doubting Nick Walker. A lot of people doubting Nick Walker. A lot of people saying, well, his shape is not good. He shut up all of you. All of you. He shut the hell up, all of you that doubted Nick Walker. He is the unstoppable, undeniable force. He keeps moving up, and don't sleep on him. He keeps telling all of us he's going to be Mr. Olympia, and by the way things are going, this guy might actually do it. Chris Cormier, what do you think?
I think he's bad and bougie, cooking a coke with a Uzi. I think he can do it. Yeah, I mean, the guy, there's been many champions before that didn't have the prototypical classic structure and muscle insertions. You saw how he started as a younger kid. He had like no chance in hell. But with hard work and dedication, he's proven that you can do whatever you set your mind to.
Well, we saw him make the big jump from 5th to 3rd, but by Nick's own account, and I can appreciate this, when you walk off a stage and you say, I should have won, that's one thing. But he said, you know what, I feel like I was a solid second, like he had Derek Lunsford.
He was hard enough. It just depends. He had to move his way up, because I think Derek started out fast, but he was making his way, passing up Rami, passing up Curry, making his way better than he did last year. He has nothing but probably incentive on doing even better and doing more, getting better with the training, getting better with the posing. That's what he's doing, is finding himself in the gym, looking for ways to get better in the gym.
I think there's some tension between Derek Lunsford and Nick Walker. Backstage, when Derek Lunsford was taking off his clothes, I could see Nick Walker sizing him up, and vice versa. Those are the young guns coming out, right? And they believe that Hadi might be there 1 or 2 more years. Eventually, Hadi will come out of the party, and Derek and Nick will be fighting for the Mr. Olympia. So there's a bit of tension between both of them. Obviously, they're going to say on camera that they love each other, but I don't think Nick Walker liked Derek Lunsford coming in on his first Olympia and surpassing him.
I don't think they're the kind of guys, well, Derek is, but I don't think Nick's the kind of guy that's going to say, oh no, we love each other. If he doesn't at least respect somebody, he'll come at you. Well, he's one of those fighters.
In one of the lives, and I remember watching, he said, I think Derek is going to be great, but he's not there yet to surpass me. Well, it looks like he's there.
Oh, boy.
But Nick Walker is a crazy wild dog. He's going to come after him.
And Labrada might have something to say about that also. I'm sure he wanted to place better.
They were not happy with Hunter's placement. But You know what? Let's look, because he did wow people
The
when
mutant.
when the mutant came out. And my friend Jason, who's my training partner back in one of my training partners back in Orlando, thought the mutant had the win this year going into the Olympia.
See right there, that shot, that classic shot with the hand up like that. I would put more into that pose and just really try to set the hips.
Stop right there. Stop right there.
Set the hips up for that and really try to do it right.
Just by him walking, the amount of muscle, the amount of beef, and I mean top sirloin without any fat that this dude has on top is incredible. Now people talk about the waist. Well, it's not one of the smallest waists, but when that beef goes into a side chest, get the hell out of the building. He's taking everybody to school.
Yes, and you could see the pecs are nice and pumped here. He was flat for a lot of that time training for the show, and he didn't display nice full pecs. But as you see walking out right here, he has nice full pecs. The arms has always been there. He just got to concentrate on this lower half. This lower half, if he gets that to where it needs to be, everybody needs to look out.
Abs. Those are big, deep, embedded abs. That isn't a six-pack. That looks like he's got 6 12-packs under his shirt trying to run out of the 7-Eleven.
And that's what I do give him credit for. He does train his abs, and that's what I keep harping on with a lot of these guys. They're not taking it serious. It's a serious muscle group because it sets off the physique. And like I said, he just worked on that bottom half because the back double bicep, I think, is there.
Well, you know, and those abs, they came into play once he hit abdominals and thighs next to Hadi and next to Derek. Hadi clearly has incredible abs, but it might have been a pose where Derek did not beat Nick Walker. Look at that. Look at those arms. Those are Michael Creasel arms. I don't know who has bigger arms, but that's a lot of arm right there.
What I noticed in the front double bicep is the tricep is also flexed also. You're not just trying to concentrate on the actual bicep. Getting that little crease right there next to the elbow, that's very important for the size and the shape, for a beautiful shape for a bicep.
Now, Tim, I want to say something. We're highly critical of Nick Walker when it comes to his posing, and I still think he needs to get better. What Nick Walker needs to understand is, let's go back to the back double biceps. Go back to the back double biceps.
The front double biceps?
Front double biceps, I'm sorry. So on the front double biceps, we know you got these monster legs. We know that. What Nick Walker needs to do is to emphasize a small waist. How do you do that? By creating angles with your feet. Chris, teach us how you do it.
Well, that's the thing. When you just go here with the straight leg, straight leg, straight leg for so many shots, that's all people looking at is picking apart your deficiencies. So if you can put more weight on, say, 80% of your weight on the right leg, 20% on the left, get on that hip a little bit, emphasize, the inside development on the quad, and give you some shape to that body. That's what's going to make a big difference when you hit some of these shots.
You know who helped me with that? Raymond Edmonds.
There you go.
And it's a matter of, because people couldn't see your feet, you got one foot out this way, one foot this way, but when you put that weight on that foot and give that twist, it's going to hit those obliques, hit that sartorius muscle, and give you that V that pops around and thin out that waist.
Yeah, you got to contort your body to where you can get a different look from just hitting that straight up and down. That's just going to leave you out there to get picked on.
That's something we would like to see from Nick Walker in 2023. Let's go ahead. And he's trying to hit classical poses. He's sending a message to us. I'm just not a mass monster. That's a beautiful shot.
That's a beautiful shot.
That's a nice one right there.
Now look at that.
And I like this shot on him. That
shoulder to shoulder.
He practiced that. He's looking pretty. He's practicing that.
Yeah, he's making a big effort to make a better physique.
Look at those guns. Wow.
I do like the lunging stuff with him.
You could do an angiogram. This is the normal angiogram side. He is so vascular, and these garden hoses in his legs are so well defined. He's always had a thing with the calves, with being really crazy vascular. But when you're that lean and you've got that level of pump, that is so impressive that he took this much mass down to this level.
Also, if you notice in this shot, the face is nice and calm. The face is nice and calm. The body is flexed. That's when you're perfecting your posing, when you can control your face. I know he makes a lot of different faces when he poses, But those are all on purpose.
But it doesn't look like he's trying to strain one out right now. Like
Right,
he's
so
in there fighting one to beat.
This is all done on purpose. It's not on accident.
We can roll, Aaron. Okay, so now we're gonna see the back shots. Okay.
Christmas trees there. I like the back double for him.
So stop right
Oh,
there.
nice
Stop right there.
development.
Woo. Okay, so
This is where he made up a lot of ground. What do you think?
people are talking about, oh, okay, he has a big waist, On the side triceps, we're not seeing that. On the side chest, we're not seeing that. On the front double biceps is a small adjustment that Chris mentioned to him. And on the back double biceps, are we really seeing a huge waist?
No.
Because his back development is so good, all we're seeing here is a great V-taper. Stop talking about Nick Walker's waist and just look at the overall body. This guy is freaking incredible. I'm sick and tired of people saying his waist. Look at his whole physique, and he makes it work.
Yeah, in this shot, I would totally take full advantage of those trapezius built up into the base of his head. That's what I'm saying. If you take your head and turn it to the left, you're going to take full advantage of your whole body, all the muscles in the body, and that's going to make a big difference when you go against the judges, go against people who don't have that development.
And sorry to interrupt him. I'm so sorry. I apologize. When he hit this back double biceps right here, I said to myself, he's going to be battling.
So this is a Chris thing right here. We know that all poses start at the ground and you set that pose and build up. But what are his feet doing, Chris? We talked about it in an episode with Rafael Brandon.
Yeah, see how he's way up on the toe? Rafael's heel was a lot lower than this, but he's taking full advantage of that calf and that outer calf. So you get a lot of pressure from the pinky toe all the way through the calf and then all the way up into the hamstrings, into the glutes.
And not sacrificing the conditioning in the ham.
It's going to make it all better because then you can dig into the ground and pull up as you're doing like a leg curl. That's going to give you the definition in the hamstring way more than just someone not putting emphasis on that back foot.
Let's roll, Aaron. Thank you.
Nice shot.
Good low back conditioning. We didn't see a lot of that.
Yeah, and
look at that.
Look at the quads.
That all helped him.
Better
And
posing,
that's
great posing right there. Squeeze the hamstrings, the glutes. Nick Walker is a great bodybuilder.
And I like the hesitation on hitting that shot and slowly bringing it down.
He practiced that.
Quicker.
Look,
Yeah.
beautiful.
That shot, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
everything-
Let's
he's
applaud.
feeling it.
Let's
He's feeling
applaud.
it.
Put on a show here.
He's wearing some Louis Vuitton right now.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of mutant fans out there in the audience on the
How
pay-per-view.
can you not be a fan of this
there.
guy?
He's working hard, man.
He's working hard. He's trying to bring the best of his physique.
Yeah.
There's those traps, Chris, you were just talking about.
Yep. Let's go.
Look at those arms.
See right here, you could do something
Now,
with
I'm
that
against
shot.
this crunching down here. I think Big Ramy did this crunching down to show the abs. I think I would keep it up with a vacuum. And this is
Side
possibly
chest.
his best pose is his side chest.
Yeah, all this stuff can, and all this stuff can get even better. So he's looking, he can be fighting for that title very, very soon.
You know, and there were some shots where some of the tan washed out. It was just whoever it was, the angles, the lighting, his obliques looked better than they did in that shot. He's having a good time right there.
Oh, he knows. He knows full well, Tim, that he looked incredible.
Yeah, it's working hard all year long, man, of course.
So we do this with a lot of the guys. What are we looking at for improvements? Where do we go?
Posing,
and posing, and a little bit more gym stuff, but a lot of posing.
All right.
That's going to help him.
and he's getting better already.
That backdoor bicep is already there.
Well, Nick Walker, great job. Nick Walker fans, you're supporting a winning horse. Just doing an amazing job climbing those ranks, and we'll look forward to seeing what he brings to this year's Olympia, as we often do. And we'll be back with more on Primetime Muscle.
People always ask how I got here. I was willing to work just a little harder than everyone else. Every damn day. If I can have hundreds of hours back, you know I'm gonna grab them. Spending hours prepping chicken, rice, and vegetables, F that. I rely on perfect nutrition. I rely on Trifecta.
We are back, and we are talking about another Olympia sensation, another one of these top pros that brought an incredible package. Samson Dauda, who put off all the Daudas, saying he wasn't going to make it to the top 6.
Tim, I had the opportunity of judging Samson Dauda in the UK in 2020. It was my first time looking at him, and he came second to Nathan Diasha. On that same show, James Hollinshead placed third. It was my first time looking at these two Brits and thinking, what can they do? James Hollinshead has great density. He needs to get bigger, maybe narrow clavicle bones, and he needs to work on that. But when I looked at Samson Dauda, all I said to myself was, if this guy gains muscle mass, he's going to be incredible. I want to give credit to Coach Milo Sarcev, because this crazy progress that he's done, he won his qualification, and then there was all these posting on Instagram that he looked insane. He placed 4th at the Arnold, and the expectations were high. But in the end of the day, that guy got called on the first call out at the Mr. Olympia. And when he hit some poses next to guys like Brandon Curry and Rami, he wasn't behind them. He impressed the hell out of me. Just like in the NBA, you have the most improved player of a season. If we had that, Samson Dauda is that guy in bodybuilding.
Oh yes, he totally impressed me and impressed us all. I feel like he brought the package that he was trying to accomplish. The whole time we're getting ready for the show, all the people placing people in their top 5, their top 10. He was always mentioned around that area a lot by Milos, because he was never wanting us to forget that he is coming and he feels like he is in top shape. He does comment on having a little thicker skin, which is genetic, but the shape is there. Cartoonish looking physique. The posing is great with him. If I was going to pick anything apart, I know Milos wanted to put 20 more pounds on the guy. I would just say, just take your time. You're already there now. It's just going to be like minor little adjustments that's going to put you over the top. You don't have to go for the Super Bowl all in 1 year, but you can also, just put together a nice, keeping that waist tight. If you just keep that waist tight, just slowly build the mass on, I think you got a winning physique right there.
7 to 10 quality pounds a year, and 2 years makes him a top contender, but 7 pounds maybe moves him up into 3rd or 4th.
Yeah, so it might, or it could be even better. Just you keep, but I would keep on that diet year round. I wouldn't get too fat, and just keeping that skin nice and thin. That's going to make a big difference for him and the judges.
And Chris mentions a good point. He gained a lot of muscle mass, and the waist still tiny. It was controlled and it was nice.
Can be a little better at some poses, but
in some poses I noticed that he could control his abdominal section a little bit better. But that's one of the dangers of growing too fast. And he grew very fast, but we're not seeing any detrimental parts of that growth. He needs to continue to grow, but never compromise his waist.
Ever.
Once the waist is done, he's gonna be highly jeopardized, because we're looking at some of the best lines on that top 10 in the Olympia.
Well, let's look at these lines. And that was one of these things. We made all our predictions. We've apologized for some of our predictions already.
Shape.
Samson, he was one of those guys that we predicted would make a big dent in this year's lineup. Hands down. By the pictures that Milos posted, we said, this guy's going to bring something special. Look at the size.
Yeah.
So the first thing that we notice is added muscular development on the chest, back, shoulders, and arms. Even his quads are a little bigger. So right now, he's moving from 12th place, 13th place, a guy that you like the physique but is missing mass, to moving into the first call out, and you're going, wow, he's big, he's got the lines, maybe just a bit more condition.
Yes, and if I'm going to nitpick here, which you're going to have to because the guy looked great, I would just say there was a little water in that abdominal area. That right there, if you keep that under control, and some of these shots can be a lot better. If you just turn that body a little bit more, keeping that waist in, and that's a little, what's his name? That's some, oh, watch it.
That was some Labrada-esque.
No, that was Vince Taylor.
Vince Taylor,
Pulling
yeah.
it through like that.
Yeah.
That's Vince Taylor all day.
So, you know, like Milos was mentioning, the skin is a little bit thick, meaning he might not have the Dexter Jackson type of skin. And like Chris said, you know, this has to be just a little bit tighter, but genetically, he's a freak. The one body part that he can still add muscle mass is the back double biceps, the back lats.
Here we go. Let's pause this when we get to it.
We need a little bit more top sirloin there.
Yeah. So
Let's pause here. That's a beautiful spot. So
come down there, stop there.
He's not flaring yet. He's got great shoulders. He's got great triceps. The left and right have a little bit of an imbalance, you know, side to side. But we are missing that low lat depth.
That's right.
So a lot of times in bodybuilding, you know, there's this expression, shows are won from the back. Oh, you know, conditioning is the most important thing. Those are not facts, okay? The reason that people say this kind of stuff is because those are the rarities of our sport. You look at a lineup, and a lot of times you're saying, oh, he could have been a little bit harder. He could have been a little bit harder. And then you get a guy that's hard, and he moves up quick because nobody was hard. And the back is the same thing. We talk about, well, Andrew Jack, he could have had a little bit more back. We talk about Samson Dauda, he could have had a little bit more back. What is the guy that we're not talking about could have had a little bit more back? Derek Lunsford. And that's why he was the talk of the town. So I'm not saying shows are won from the back. What I'm saying is that a lot of competitors, we never have issues with their arms. We never have issues with their chest. All we need here, Andrew Jack, Samson Dauda, is a better back, and then they'll join the group of Derek Lunsford and be fighting for the title.
And it's not all about strided glutes, like you mentioned before. You don't have, that's not the determining factor. This is a great physique. You know, just a little tinkering here and there, and he's going to be, you know, fighting for the title. So you don't, it's not like super lines here. It's just like a great, healthy, full look of a competitor.
And Chris, that left leg that's faced out there, a little cock of the heel back inwards to get that quad sweep to pop out?
Yeah, I would totally be way up on those toes right here. And that's, like I said before, that's going to make a big difference in the shape of that quad and calf.
Let's roll a little bit more so we can get a chance to see. He's a great poser as well, right?
Yeah, he's a great poser.
One of the things that Milos said, so it's a bit watery there, control the abdominal section. We need to see that those abs. He loves to pose. He loves every minute he's there. And I think this is one of his best poses.
That left arm is just massive.
Yeah.
The separation between the delt, the bicep, the tricep, I mean, there is no, look at that. There is no getting around the size of that left arm.
Yeah, and seeing him backstage, he was just monstrous backstage. I was just like, man, that is one big dude.
You're looking at the future of the Mr. Olympia, 2023, 2024. You're looking at guys like Andrew Jack and Samson Dauda. And then you start seeing a pattern of nice lines. About 2 years ago, the only guy with the nice lines on the first call out was truly Brandon Curry. You were surrounded by mass monsters, highly conditioned guys. Brandon was the only one with those lines. If you start getting these guys on the lineup, what they do is they start exposing the guys that are not genetically gifted. That's why guys like Nick Walker, they need to practice on their posing more than they practice gaining muscle. Because all of a sudden, you're going to start posing next to Andrew Jack and Samson Dauda. And if you don't have perfect posing that minimizes your waist, you're going to be in trouble.
Let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling.
Beautiful pose.
Boom. Nice side chest.
Full side chest.
I like this most muscular here.
Great most muscular.
Could still be a little more strided across the chest and into the upper chest.
Yeah.
There's that film you keep talking about.
And you know, he's such a gentleman. I had a chance to meet his wife in the UK. He was so happy.
Stop right there in that pose.
Go back to, that's an Arnold Schwarzenegger traditional
Hit that
pose.
Three-quarter back. See right here, if this development was very pronounced here, that whole shot is going to be complete. So that's the only thing I see right here is that the lower lats need to pop out more. That's going to give you the shot that you need in that three-quarter bag.
Samson Dauda. People were wondering where he would finish up, and he finished on the first call-out top 6. Let's commend this guy. He made it happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a nice shot.
Yep. Can you still get there?
Oh, yeah, I can get there.
All right. Well, he was a surprise, and one more guy that was trying to see if he would be a surprise again this year is coming up in our next segment, and we'll assess not only his future but his legacy, because when you start winning that much, you start talking about dynasties and legacies when we come back on Primetime Muscle.
You diet down, train hard, and supplement smart for months. When the time comes to step on stage, don't leave your tan to chance. Go with the pros. Pro Tan. #1 worldwide since 1987 and the official sponsor of the Olympia for the last 15 years. Don't step on stage without it. Pro Tan.
All right, we had a champion regain his title in this year's 212. That is the giant killer, Shaun Clarida. Guys, he brought it hard.
Oh, man, the giant killer, you said it. I mean, this guy is able to go into the open, back to the 212, back to regain his title. I mean, and he just had a baby. I mean, you can't wish for anything else better, but now we're going to see him going on to bigger and better things in the open class.
Well, you know, we talked last year about the greatest 212s of all times. Chris and I had a heated argument because he embraced his friend Sean Ray, and I said Mohammed bin Aziza was the best 212. I'm going to say that Shaun Clarida is starting to get into that discussion as a great giant killer and as great 212. Out of all the classes that we judged at the 2022 Mr. Olympia, the most dominant performance was executed by 2 competitors, Shaun Clarida and Andrea Shaw. Shaun Clarida displayed impeccable conditioning. His shape was possibly the best in the whole class, and his muscle density was also there. And I said it after the show. This is the closest thing to Ronnie Coleman. People looked at me and said, what do you mean? What I mean is, if you get Shaun Clarida's physique, I think he's approximately 5'4", and you just add in all dimensions, a bodybuilder, Shaun Clarida at 5'11", and you add in all proportional dimensions, he's the closest thing to 2003 Ronnie Coleman. And I give this guy a lot of praise. I also want to praise his coach, Matt Jensen. What they did at the 2022 Mr. Olympia was one for the ages.
So, you know, you and I both, when Tarek first brought that up, wanted to drug test him. We said, are you good? We felt his head. Do you have a fever? You know,
red eyes.
You have the dengue.
You can start apologizing to me right now.
I'm getting ready to.
Well, maybe it's your time to apologize to the camera.
I don't have an ISO. I only have a wide shot. I don't have an ISO. Oh, I do. You know what, Tarek? You have been right so many times. I'm not even selling this a little. You've been right so many times. And this is another one of those times when you were right. And when we looked pound for pound, because you have to, when you judge in 2 people, it's 10 pounds an inch, right, Chris? I mean, basically you look and say, all right, to be pound for pound with this guy, he would have to be 282, standing next to Ronnie Coleman, who wasn't even that big when he was champ in 2003.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the guy's physique was just 3D everywhere, density, like Tarek said. He was all that. And I can't wait to see him compete more and more. But you see the work that he's putting in the gym. You see it almost on a daily basis. He's posting. But he is doing some astronomical weights. He's doing like Ronnie Coleman in the gym, just being a beast in there.
Well, we have the glory of our beautiful video wall to break down his individual routine and see these lines you're talking about, guys. See, I mean,
Ironically enough, in 2003, Ronnie Coleman was wearing the same color posing trunks as Shaun Clarida. Okay?
How did you know?
Same posing trunks. Look at this. How can you not tell me? Look at the feathering on the quads. Look at the vascularization on top. This guy is hitting a most muscular, and you can still see his abs. Look how bubbly the muscle bellies are on the shoulders and the biceps. He's got calves. He's got flaring quads. This is the most complete bodybuilder at the 2022 Mr. Olympia.
What I'm looking at his face. He is so proud of his work and so proud to be there showing the world what he's been working on all year long. And you can see every detail. You can see from the feet up to his head, everything is engaged. Everything is telling you, I'm number one, I'm here to stay, and I'm gonna show you what I can do, and wait till you see me in the open class also.
Look at the quality of the muscle in his quads alone. And because you can really see, you're as lean as you're gonna get, you're seeing those feathers, just the striations, the whole process of breaking that muscle down.
It's a complete physique. Now, when you talk about some of the greatest performances of all times, you look at all the criterias. Conditioning, you got feathering on the quads. Then you look at the lines, look how small his waist is. Now you'll say, okay, this guy is a small bodybuilder. He's only 190 pounds. What you're really looking is muscularity. Muscularity. You can get a guy that's 6'5" with a lot of muscle, but he has no density because he's too big. But if you get a guy like Shaun Clarida with all this muscle, that means he's jumping ahead on the muscularity round. We're talking about a complete performance. If you're in the open, if you're in the 212, this is how you go and you eliminate the judging. There's just no judging here. He covered all the criterias.
Now let's roll it forward, and Chris, I got a question to ask you, because I think it's harder when you're shorter to not get blocky.
Nice shot right here. Boom. So when he was competing, you couldn't help but just be like, okay, this guy is number one. I don't think anyone else is even close. And he just totally dominated the field. Taking these shots, side chest here. Yeah, man, like striations everywhere.
And then, Tim, Chris, show me one imbalance. What is a little bit too big? Let's stop this pose. Go back to the back double biceps. Are his arms overpowering his back? No. Are his quads overpowering the upper body? No. There is no imbalances on the symmetry. You know, we talk about Nick Walker, Michael Krizo, that sometimes their arms might be overpowering. We talk about guys that have huge legs and the upper half is not full. There are no imbalances in Shaun Clarida's physique. He gets a 10 on symmetry.
Look at the hang on his triceps.
And I can't keep beating the dead horse, but I'm going to tell you again, way up on the toe is going to be way better for you than taking the lackadaisical approach to that pose. Everything matters from head to toe. Everything matters and in between.
And that brings, like Chris was saying, if you have this, that brings the calves. And that's something like guys like Rafael Brandão, they need to look at performances like this and say, hey, I got to copy this. Now, stop and let's look at his forearm. Look at his forearm right there. You know, everything is complete. He's not missing anything.
That's from that heavy weight in the gym.
You can attest to this. So you're talking about symmetry and you're breaking down what is an important facet. The connection between certain body parts that should be equal. Forearms and calves should be closely related in size.
Correct. So you have your calves, your biceps, and your neck should all be in close circumference of each other.
Let's roll a little bit because we're going to see some of his front poses and his side poses. So great. And, you know, look, he's not shaking.
Christmas tree.
Duel.
Lat spread.
Controlling the abdominal section. Look at the hands.
Yeah, he has nice
glutes,
control of the abs.
Look, stop right here. So many times we look at bodybuilders and when they hit the side triceps, we see a little bit of a, bubble gut here, popping out. What is this? This is Shaun Clarida 3 months before the Mr. Olympia, hitting a side triceps, looking in the mirror and saying, control the abdominal section, control the abdominal section. He performs that well on that split second, and the judges take a split second look and he goes, he's done his homework.
That's right. And that's what a lot of bodybuilders don't do. paying close attention to all the little details it takes to make a pose look fantastic, and he's doing so right here.
All right, let's continue your roll, please, Aaron. Oh.
Look at the veins on top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That most muscular is something to behold.
Yeah.
Nice. I see you, big boy.
Let's give a hand. Let's give it one of the best performances
I see you, big
at
boy.
the 2000 and Mr. Olympia. Shaun Clarida, you put on a show. The judges were impressed. The audience was impressed.
Everybody.
Your competitors, some of his competitors said, I just saw somebody said, it's unreal. You look at him backstage and then you look at him on stage and you say, how can I beat this guy? That's some of his peers saying that about his performance.
So you had Kamal El-Garni in that, and I saw him 5 days before the show and he was just shredded. So he had no slouches in that top 5. But here's the question. So Shaun keeps popping in and out of the open. At some point, does he make the jump full time, or does he say, hey, I'm going after Flex Lewis's dynasty?
Just compete. I would just compete. Just do whatever you want to do, whatever show you set your mind to. He's shown that he can compete with anybody in the world.
So I agree with Chris. If you look at those guys that place top 3 at the Mr. Olympia, Kamal El-Garni at the Tampa Pro, he placed second to Akeem Williams. Shaun Clarida at the center podium show, he won the show. And Angel Calderon, who placed second from Spain, he already also won a open bodybuilding show. What these guys have to do, in my opinion, is when it comes to the Mr. Olympia, you have to strategize. Let me go to the 212, get my check, make my money, get my reputation as the champion, and then throughout the year, go into the open and attack some of the bigger guys. And I think all those guys, Shaun Clarida, Kamal El-Garni, Angel Calderon, they can do that and they can be effective. Shaun Clarida is a showstopper. If you're a big guy and you're out of shape, Shaun Clarida is going to take you to school.
That center podium show, that was is that one of Chris Min's?
Correct. Yeah.
So who did he beat in that one? Because there was a couple big guys in there.
Regan Grimes,
Yes.
Sergio
Sergio.
Oliva.
And,
those are massive guys that he beat. And I'll tell you, he's going to start taking names all over the world if he competes in open shows.
And Sergio wasn't at his all-time peak, but Regan was looking pretty good. And so that's saying something for him to be Regan on that stage.
I'm going to go out on a limb here. Hopefully he qualifies this year and comes back to the Olympia stage. I love the Dynasty kids. I love Labrada, Sergio Oliva, big fan. At the Expo, did you say hi to him at the Expo?
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's one of the things. You go to the Expo to see your favorite guys. Massive. It's the biggest I've ever seen him by 30 pounds, and he looked good.
Yeah, I think he's going to be someone to contend with in the future for sure.
Yeah. Shaun Clarida, it'll be interesting to see, what was Flex's dynasty? 7 wins?
No, I think he won six times, Flex Lewis. But I think Flex Lewis never dabbled on the open. And I think if he had a chance, he would have gone back and competed in the open. It would have been historical to see him do a New York Pro, a Chicago Pro, because he would have battled for the title. I think this is a lesson for guys. What Kamal El-Garni did, what Shaun Clarida did. Get out there and compete. Compete in the open and see what happens.
Well, this year's competition season is up and running, and we'll see where everybody fares and who dabbles in the opens and 212s. And the top 5, of course, is already qualified for this year's Olympia in beautiful Orlando in the first week of November. Guys, this flies by.
Oh yeah, we have a great time here at Primetime Muscle. Please leave some comments though, guys.
Like, subscribe, share. Chris Cormier, the real deal.
Real deal. Looking through my Gucci's, it's about that time to go.
What? And show us the shirt, would you please?
Oh no.
No?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's my
old school bodybuilding. Tarek Gilgindi, you got a bunch of shows this year. We're looking forward to seeing you out there.
It's going to be, this has been a great year, exciting year, great shows. The 2023 Mr. Olympia is going to be Orlando. I want you to go on olympiaproductions.com, sign on the pay-per-view right now. I want you to go to Muscle and Fitness Plus, sign on to the app, get it right now. Otherwise, your life will be truly miserable.
Already, a third of the way into the year, we're signing up. All right, everybody. Tim Wilkins for these two great guys. For Primetime Muscle, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends that this is the spot for just the facts in the sport of bodybuilding, all classes, all divisions. We'll see you next time on this show.